Good morning, guys. So I wanted to talk a little bit more. Put them outside, baby, for a few minutes. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the topic that I posted about. So while I'm preparing to make my watermelon juice this morning, because I haven't brought celery in a while, but while I'm preparing to make my watermelon juice this morning, I wanted to talk a little bit more about what I posted when it comes to, when it comes to your digestive system. So you guys know I'm doing a 7-day, 5 a.m. challenge. And although 2 days I woke up after 5 a.m., so I'm going to extend the challenge a little bit longer. But in waking up so early and meditating and just clearing my mind, I've been led to do different stuff. And one of them this morning was working on my digestive system. And in working my digestive system and doing some of my Qigong exercises for my belly, I decided to start doing a little bit research. And that's how I came upon that video that you guys could see on Insta stories, where the gentleman is talking about if your digestive system is not working properly, it's hard to basically digest life. When things are coming your way, when you're having problems, when you're under stress, you're having relationship problems, you're having problems at work, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling all over the place. If your physical digestive system is not working properly, I can see the correlation of your emotional digestive system not working properly. So I did post a video that you guys could look up on YouTube on some exercises you can do, people that have issues with bloating, constipation, IBS, and any other digestive system issue. And whenever I talk about something, some way, somehow, it correlates to the skin. And if your digestive system is not digesting the food you eat, pulling the nutrients, pulling the enzyme, pulling the minerals so that it could feed not only your body but your skin, you will have issues with your skin. If your gut is inflamed, a lot of people have eczema and don't understand why they have eczema. Eczema, 9 times out of 10, is an internal issue. Something is going on inside of your body. Your gut is not digesting properly. You're having inflammation, and that inflammation pushes out as eczema or acne on the skin. So one of the things I wanted to, it came to my mind as I was preparing this morning, of the correlation between your physical digestive system and your emotional digestive system. And some examples came to mind. Oh, let me show you the size of the watermelon for today that I'll be cutting. One of the examples that came to mind is, you know how as a child, when you get in trouble, you're gonna get a spanking, or your parent is extremely mad at you, and you know you're gonna get in trouble. Let's say you did something in school, your teacher's gonna call and report on you, or something happened as a child. 9 times out of 10, most of us have felt this feeling where, oh crap, I'm in trouble. The first thing you have to do is go take a dump. And that is like the perfect example of the correlation between your digestive system physically and your digestive system emotionally. How ironic that you're in trouble and you're scared as crap that you're in trouble, and the first thing that your body does is runs to the bathroom. It's the same thing as being in a relationship and finding out somebody cheated on you. The first thing that happens is that you just get this pain deep in your gut when you find out that person was cheating on you or did something wrong. Or let's say you find out some real bad news. Let's say there's a death in the family or something really traumatic. The first place you feel it is down here. So after posting the things that I posted, good morning, after posting the things that I posted, I started thinking of different examples, and I'm like, wow, like the emotional and the physical correlation of the digestive system is really real. I got some organic watermelon this time. So that's what I'll be juicing. So it's in that aspect. A lot of us have health issues, and our doctor is not going to tie the emotional aspect with the physical aspect. Our doctors don't even tie nutrition with our physical problems. You go to the doctor, you say you have a headache, the first thing they do is prescribe you Tylenol or Advil or tell you to take some kind of medication. It's very rare to go to the doctor and you complain of a headache and the first thing he tells you is, how's your drinking? Have you been drinking enough water? How's your water intake? Because a lot of headaches stem from dehydration. It does make sense. I was sitting here this morning like, wow. It's a good thing when you wake up so early, your mind is so clear and you just make connections. So if our primary physician is not connecting nutrition and our health, granted, they'll tell you to eat healthier, they'll tell you to have a better diet, they'll ask you about your diet, but some symptoms that you may be having can be stemmed from food, can be stemmed from lack of hydration, something very simple, but yet they give you medication. That's the same when it comes to our emotional health and correlating that with our physical health. They're not going to make that connection for you. That's why I'm so big on you learning about your body, you understanding your body, you becoming an advocate for yourself. I'm going to give you an example. There was one time where I got really sick and I had to go to the hospital. I knew that my symptoms had to do with adrenal fatigue. So all I needed was an IV with fluid. That's all I needed. So I knew when I went to the hospital, my goal was to get a bag of IV in my body and I knew I'd be fine because I was dehydrated. I did something that had to do with salt that really dehydrated me, so I just needed hydration. But some of the symptoms that I was having was stomach issues. So when I went to the hospital, of course, they ask you for your symptoms. I give them all my symptoms. And the first thing the doctor says, he doesn't examine me or anything. He looks at my symptoms and sends the nurse to give me some type of stomach medication. I don't remember what it's called, Pepto-Bismol, not ibuprofen, but some type of stomach medication. So when the nurse comes to me and she says, okay, the doctor wants to start you off with blah, blah, blah. I looked at her and I said, well, no, I'm not taking that. She said, well, it sounds like you have a stomach virus. I said, no, I do not have a stomach virus. I need an IV, I'm dehydrated, and this is what I need so I can feel better. Of course, it's like, oh, who is this lady that thinks she knows so much about herself that she's telling the doctor what she needs? So, of course, I was the talk of the hospital. All you kept hearing is, this patient. It was a very small hospital. It was an urgent care. This patient doesn't want to take this medication, blah, 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 blah. So the doctor comes in, and he said, well, ma'am, if you don't want to feel better and you want to stay in your little pity party with your stomach virus, you can go ahead. I told the doctor, I said, I'm dehydrated and all I need is a bag of fluids. Once I get my bag of fluids, I'm going to be fine. Because when I went into the hospital, I was very lethargic. I had very low energy. I was walking really slow. It was like one of those patients that come in like this. So I'm walking really slow. I had zero energy. So he gave me the bag of fluids. And of course, as soon as all that fluids got into my system, I started feeling better. So at the end of my visit, the doctor comes in and he says, okay, how are you feeling? I tell him I'm feeling better. I'm talking better. I have more energy. So there was a drastic change from the minute I went into the hospital to by the time I was ready to come out of the hospital. So I had to educate the doctor and tell the doctor, not everybody that comes in with these symptoms, whatever symptoms I was having, has a stomach virus. they may be struggling with adrenal fatigue. And he's looking at me like, adrenal fatigue? Like, what is that? I said, I understand it's not something that Western doctors are familiar with. It's something that Eastern doctors are familiar with. And unfortunately, Western doctors diagnose that as depression. They diagnose it as a ton of things. They diagnose it as adrenal failure. They have a whole bunch of different diagnoses for it. So after educating the doctor very nicely, I got up, I was able to walk, I had more energy, and as I was leaving the hospital, I noticed the doctor with several nurses around him. He's on the computer researching. And that made me happy because at least he was open to learn more. Our doctors do not know everything. They know the basics. They do not know everything. So you have to be the advocate for yourself to understand your body and understand what your body needs. Had I gone to the hospital and taken the Pepto-Bismol or whatever they were trying to give me for my stomach, when my stomach was not the root cause of my issue, it was a symptom, then I would have left the hospital with that Pepto-Bismol, still feeling drained, still feeling lethargic, still feeling like I had no energy, because what I really needed was some instant hydration. I needed electrolytes, I needed fluids. I needed fluids through my blood, not drinking, because at that time I was so dehydrated that I needed fluids directly into my veins than versus drinking water. So I will try to share as much information as things pop to me so early in the morning as I do this 5 a.m. challenge. I'll try to share information. I'll try to share what I learned and what I'm led to do. I know some of the information I may share may be like completely over some people's head because they have no clue of the emotional and physical aspect. And if you guys have questions, DM me, because that is I love TCM. I love traditional Chinese medicine. Eastern doctors are so completely different than Western doctors in how they view stuff, of how they see things, of how they go deeper into the body versus Western doctors. So I'm glad that I had this aha moment this morning to share with you, because hopefully it'll help you a lot. It'll help a lot of you guys kind of look at your digestive system and your gut in a different way, especially if you're struggling with bloating, constipation, diarrhea, IBS, I think it's Crohn's disease. I could be saying it wrong. But if you're struggling with those things, you could take a deeper look and try to figure out what emotional aspect is tied to your digestive system. Before I close, I'll give you a simple example. I have a friend that struggles with diarrhea all the time. And one of the things I told him, I'm like, yo, you're always I'm sorry, not diarrhea. He struggles with constipation all the time. And I told him, I was like, yo, did you ever realize that the reason why you're probably struggling with constipation is because you literally hold on to everything? Like everything that happens in your life, it doesn't matter how big or how minute it is, you hold on to it. Of course, he looked at me and laughed and like, yeah. I was like, hey, you can't get rid of shit because you literally can't get rid of shit. You gotta let shit go. So that I was just plain and simple with him. You gotta let shit go. So if you're struggling with constipation, kind of take a deeper look. You see? It's kind of take a deeper look on, okay, am I constipated really because of the food I'm eating? Or am I constipated really because I just literally can't let shit go? And start doing some emotional work, start doing some mental work, start writing down what you probably are holding on to. Journal, write it out. You may not be able to talk to the person that did it to you. Some of the people that's hurt us in the past are people that's probably passed away. You can't physically have that conversation with them, but write it. Start letting things go on paper. If you can talk to the person, talk to the person. If you can't talk to the person, write stuff out. I can give you an example. When my mom passed away, she wasn't in the best of terms with me because I did some crap that she wasn't happy with. So she passed away, we were on talking terms, but I knew she wasn't happy with me and the things, the decisions I made in my life. So I had to physically write to her, cry it out, write to her, talk to her. Does she hear or see any of that? No. But the whole process was me letting go of the hurt that I held inside so that I can move on with my life, so that my energy can flow, so that my system can start working better. So if you're struggling with constipation, take a minute, take a week, take a month, start thinking about what is the emotional things you're holding on to and how you can let go of them. Because if you're constipated, that means your energy is not flowing through your body like you should. You'll feel stagnant. You may even feel stagnant in life. For example, you may have a business that you're trying to grow and you just feel stuck. And you're like, I'm doing everything that I need to do and I'm just feeling stuck. I can't move forward. What am I doing wrong? Constipation, holding on to things, feeling stuck. Things happen throughout different aspects of your life. So if you're starting to notice a pattern, start looking at the root cause of that pattern. Sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes you got to pray about stuff so that you can see the connection. It's not easy, but start kind of figuring out, wow, I feel stuck in life. I feel stuck in this relationship. I feel stuck with my kids. I feel stuck in my job. I feel stuck in my business. I can't take a dump. I'm constipated. Like I'm holding on to stuff. All that is a pattern. Now, what are you holding on to that you could start letting go of so that your energy can start flowing? Things could start flowing in your business. Things can start flowing in your lives. Things could start flowing in your relationship. I had this issue June of last year. I actually, for several years, I felt toxic. And in feeling toxic, I kept feeling sick. I kept feeling off. I would go to doctors, visit the doctors, been to the hospital. They couldn't figure out nothing that was going on with me. In and out of hospitals, even on a heart monitor for 3 days, they couldn't figure out what was going on with me. But I felt very toxic. You know when you feel something in your body, you just don't feel right. And a lot of praying, and God kind of guided me to do a juice cleanse. And I did my 7-day juice cleanse, and it's within that 7-day juice cleanse that I started releasing not only toxins, but I started releasing a whole bunch of emotional things that I was holding on to that I didn't even realize I was holding on to. So there are many ways that you can have an emotional release where it may, again, like I said, you may not be able to physically talk to the person, but journaling, and especially if you can do a 7-day juice cleanse. And when I mean 7-day juice cleanse, I mean completely 7 days of juicing. You will start releasing so much in your body, physically and emotionally, that by the time you finish the juice cleanse, you're sitting there like, wow. On day 5 of my juice cleanse, I cried so much, I didn't realize I was holding on to so many things in my life. I let go of stuff, and a lot of stuff were revealed to me. So it was a blessing for me to do that juice cleanse. So I don't want to go off. I feel like I covered a lot of things, but I'm praying and I'm hoping that the nuggets that I just shared with you, that you guys that are watching now and on the replay, that there's a aha moment for you, like there was for me this morning, that can help you to get unstuck, let go, and get that, get your energy and body flowing. A great conversation. Unfortunately, I have to go to work. Have a great day. You have an awesome day too. I'll be closing up, but you check it out on the replay. Thank you guys. I'm going to go ahead and juice now. I guess I'll juice on live too. You need to have some juice before you go to...
It's almost time to go. Past time to go, actually.
You'll be fine tomorrow. You need to have some juice before you go to school. Get your stomach working like it should. So this is what I'm juicing this morning. Good morning, guys. Those of you that are just joining, definitely take a minute, watch the beginning of this live stream because I dropped some amazing gems to help you physically and emotionally. So although you see this big watermelon this morning, I shared some very important information. So take a minute to watch it on the replay. Thank you, guys. I'm going to jump off live now so I can make this juice before my son goes to school. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.